So it's fantastic to be having a chat here about 16 style types, the psychology of style, and our new online program, which is called Your Type of Style, Unlocking Your Style DNA. And we have Cathy with us, our beautiful ENFJ, who's going to be sharing with us some of her experiences of participating in the program. And of course, we have Imogen and myself, Jill Chippers, as co-creators of this online program. Having a chat and seeing what benefits and experiences we had in participating in the online program. So, Cathy, we're just going to start by asking you what your main takeaways were from participating in Your Type of Style.
Well, I think number one takeaway was understanding myself a little bit better, which is kind of a funny thing to say because I'm 64 years old, I'm newly retired, and you would think I would already understand myself. But figuring out what my style type was, finding that it was an ENFJ, and then understanding what that meant has been helpful, not just in figuring my style out, but it's been helpful all the way across my life. And I feel like I am a lot more understanding of why I feel and respond a certain way and why I make decisions a certain way.
Yeah.
So what was your biggest aha moment that you had during the program?
I think the biggest aha moment was what extroverted feeling means in my life. And then second to that, what introverted intuition means, how that affects how I process information, how I make decisions, how I go about my relationships, and also why I like the things I like in my style.
Yeah.
Did you see those extroverted feeling and introverted intuition, did you see those play out in your style in any particular way?
Well, the extroverted feeling, I knew all along. That was, I ever since I started reading about style and personality type, I knew that extroverted feeling was part of it. And I've always been someone who dresses for the people that I'm around or for how I want the people I'm around to feel. So I'm a former teacher. I would dress for meetings with parents in a way that was dependent on what they needed from me. And I would dress for interacting with kids in a way that made them engaged. And so that was always part of how I used my style. But when I learned about the introverted intuition piece of it, it like made everything make sense.
Yeah. Because ENFJs are the great connectors. They are the expressive stylist, and they are highly attuned to the feelings of others and also how other people are tuning into them. They are probably the most in tune with that. So, you know, with that in mind, what would you say other women who have a preference for ENFJ would gain from the program, Cathy?
Well, I think one thing, this is going to sound kind of funny, but it gave me confidence.
Yeah.
It gave me confidence in trying new things. And it gave me confidence when I was going shopping. One of the problems with being an extroverted feeling person is when you go shopping, you start worrying about the people you're with.
Yeah.
You want the shopkeeper to be successful. And if you're with a friend or your husband, you want them to feel happy about being with you and validated in what they say. And so it's that can be a danger because you can end up making choices that really aren't the right choices because you're so concerned about the other people.
Yeah.
And so knowing that was, I think, one of the most beneficial pieces of the program for me. It sounds so simple, but I've used that time and time again since I figured that out.
Yeah. Yeah, the difference that can make in how you approach all kinds of things to do with your style, and that interaction, relationship, connection piece, how it just goes through everything when it comes to your style. If you have extroverted feeling in, dominant or auxiliary. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that I figured out, this is like a brand new aha, is I have to be at the right level of refinement. Like I have to be in the band of the right level of refinement. Otherwise, I am extremely uncomfortable.
Interesting.
And one example of that is one Sunday at church. It was Christmas in July. Well, I hadn't read the bulletin and I didn't know, and I was handing out bulletins. Everybody else was dressed in Christmas attire and I was in summer clothes, or I was in just regular clothes. I was so uncomfortable because I was dressed like a normal person and everybody else was in silly Christmas outfits. I was extremely uncomfortable and couldn't interact with people because I wasn't dressed in the right band of refinement. I wasn't silly and everybody else was.
And I'm sorry.
I think that's a sign of that extroverted intuition or extroverted feeling.
Yeah, there are several types that would find that situation very difficult, but for very different reasons. And so interesting what we're hearing from you from that ENFJ perspective.
Yeah, I think, overall, one of the things that I got the most out of from this program was understanding how I work. And then I can make decisions based on that understanding, that are thoughtful decisions, that I know why I am drawn to something, or I know why I might try something, rather than just blindly doing it or blindly following style rules, like, with your coloring and contrast and your proportions. All of those things are really important, but then there's that extra piece of understanding why you're drawn to something.
Yeah.
And that has been huge for me.
Has it changed how you shop, how you dress?
Yeah, it has. It has. Well, I talked about how it's changed how I shop. I shop with a lot more confidence, and I take in information more as data now, rather than feeling like I'm going by emotion only.
Yeah.
The way it's changed how I dress is I'm starting to add some elements of quirkiness and creativity in what I wear, and being creative is part of the ENFJ style words, I guess.
Yes.
And so one thing I just did is I bought new glasses. So I have contacts on right now, but I bought some new glasses, and they're a little quirky. They're unusual. They're a little bit out there, but they're in that band of refinement. They're not too weird, but they're really different. And there's something that I would have never tried before this program, but I had the confidence to go a little bit more unusual than I would have beforehand.
Yeah.
And I've already gotten a lot of compliments on them. They kind of look like John Lennon. They're little round circles, and they're blue. They're the color of my eyes, so they're like they're different. They're different than anything I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
And I love them.
Yeah.
I feel like when somebody looks at me in those glasses, they go, "Oh, you know, she may have white hair and she may be kind of old and short and, you know, wrinkled, but she looks interesting because look at what she's wearing. That's interesting, but it's not so weird that it's off-putting. It's just interesting, and I feel like it's going to draw people in, and then we can have this contact and interaction.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about. I would have never bought something like that before this program. Never had the courage to do that, and never understood why it was a good idea.
Yeah. And what I'm also hearing is how much confidence you have in that decision. So it's not just some wildly creative thing to be creative for reasons unanchored to anything to do with your style essence, that you understand where that creativity fits and you have confidence in that decision.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, another thing, and I thank you very much for this, is you talked about how ENFJs like to wear their memories, and they often get special items when they're traveling. So I just got back from a month-long camping trip, and I bought 5 pairs of earrings.
Right.
And each one of them were handmade, unique, and special, not something that you could get in a high street store.
Yeah.
They were, one was made by a Navajo, 2 of them were made by Navajos, and they all have meaning.
Yeah.
And having something that has meaning like that, just it anchors me and kind of settles me down a little bit and gives me that grounding. So then I can focus on who I'm interacting with.
Beautiful. And it's one of the things that differentiates ENFJs from other NF types as well. So that's beautiful. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about your experience of participating in the program, Cathy?
Well, yes. So one of the biggest things I got out of this was dealing with some things that happened when I was a kid. And that was 50 years ago. And there's some questions that are asked in some of the early modules about style influencers and your childhood, and it just brought that up for me.
Yeah. And
I didn't expect it. I mean, this is supposed to be about clothes and what you wear, and I didn't expect it to be that deep.
Right. And
it really gave me an opportunity of paying attention to that and some real healing. And I'm extremely grateful for that. I feel like I'm a healthier, stronger person now than I was before the program. And after talking with some of the other people that were in it at the same time as me, I don't think I'm the only one that had that experience.
Yeah.
And that's pretty neat.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experiences in this short chat with us, Cathy. We're just thrilled that you've gotten so much value from the program. And we certainly hope that this video helps others, certainly ENFJs who are wondering what they may get from it. But other types, other women of other style types, I'm sure will be able to gain a lot from listening to what you experienced, what you got out of it, and what the benefits were from participating in your type of style.
I loved it.